Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2021. It's week 46 and in the background you can see we are in the Toyota SFR 2015 car. Little teeny tiny thing there, but it does mean that you can have some good racing, which you will see, and some bad racing, which you will also see. Let's have a look at the race details first of all. We're racing 5 laps here at Sardegna. It's a grid start, and we are on the sports hard tyre. So it's Sardegna Road Track C in reverse. I don't think I actually mentioned it was the reverse track of Layout C. Now you know. Let's jump to the race then, and let's have a look exactly what happened, as well as a lap guide as well. We are then at the start. Obviously, there's only one colour for this car as well, so we're all in this sort of yellowy, greeny sort of colour. It's more yellow than anything. Flash away, as always. It's nice to see Jim Bob doing that there. Shouts out to you, Jim Bob. Brake balance, -1. My common brake balance in terms of road cars, always on -1 there as we get ready. You don't need traction control either for the start. Just put your foot down, off you go. It has 0 power, so you can literally just fly off straight away here. And we're already overtaking the German on the right-hand side there, so up into P11. And we're going to get over to the inside here to try and play it safe as we head towards turn 1. You see a little bit of contact here, there, and everywhere. Well, the German behind decides wants to absolutely launch it, so I sort of give space there. Then they go on the grass and smash into aces, unfortunately. So we come round here, and we're going to carry on. Jim Bob off there as well. We can just see we've got Hazo in front of us. And suddenly it's going to go 3 wide very quickly here. So I'm trying to make sure I stay on circuit, which I do. Unfortunately, Jim Bob gets pushed out there. The German keeps hitting me here throughout this entire part, and it was getting quite frustrating. Just turn in. Another one off there. That's Stig on speed as we head towards this right-hander. Now this one is more on me here. Just getting it turned in a little bit. But there's room on the exit, so, you know, it wasn't that bad. But another person off there. Didn't see who that was. So, up into P8 then. The German ahead up into P7. They want the hazards on, so I think, oh, okay, maybe they've made a mistake here. And we're going to have some normal racing resume. Anyway, we're going to head into this last corner then. And don't run too wide here, because it's an absolute massive penalty for running wide. But we get a really good run out there. So we give Hazo a little bit of bumper drafting. And carry on. You can see that penalty there. Roughy 3-second penalty. That is massive. It's 2 seconds if you don't run as wide. So just be careful. That's all I can say is be careful. Anyway, we're going to head towards turn 1 then. I was scared, so I was sort of staying in the middle here. And you can notice there the car from behind comes flying in. And absolutely, that's the German again, wiping out Theo Lee there. Sorry to see Theo Lee, but I have no idea what's going on with that driver. Really not. I think they're a young driver as well, because they had that XX in their name, which is what I did when I was 12, so I'm assuming a young driver. Anyway, we're going to continue on, and we're side by side here with Ruffy. So going through here, Ruffy did give me room here, which is why there's less contact, and unfortunately we're going to be falling in behind. So Ruffy is the one with the 3-second penalty, and I think Jim Bob may not have just enough room there. It was close anyway. Apologies, Jim Bob, if you felt I ran you a little bit tight there. We advance a bit further on. So we catch up to Hazo then. And you see another penalty up ahead for the Finnish driver. And we have a really good run through there. I'll talk about how to do that corner in just a second. Really good run on Hazo here. So looking down the inside then. We have to lift off a little bit to make sure we don't understeer into Hazo. Then into this left-hander and in towards the braking zone. Hazo starts to turn in twice here. But I was there, so can't really turn when I'm there. But we continue on. And we are going to go into the lap guide as well. And that cone really annoyed. And Jim Bob gave Hazo a little bit of boost there as well. So all's fine. We carry on with the racing. So lap guide is about to come up. And obviously this is the main thing you're watching for. So as you head towards turn 1, you're going to be carrying quite a bit of speed here. But if you look on the left-hand side, we have 4 Michelin signs. Sorry, not 3. And you're looking to brake exactly as the end of that first one hits the edge of your screen. It's a really good brake marker. And you're going to be going down to 2nd gear. And now the drop to 2nd gear is at the very end. You want to, if you can get your tyre hooked in on the inside there, pull you around and literally just full on out of the corner. As you accelerate out of there, it won't get wheel spin. You should be able to continue on as normal. As we head down the hill then we're going to go up. And then be careful about going too close to the wall on the left. I went kind of close a few times. This is all flat out here. Behind a little bit of slipstream as well. Now as you get over the crest of the hill, you're on the left-hand side. So as that curb joins the circuit there, I normally brake at this point. You can brake a little bit later and still make it, but I brake here, allow the car to just roll through the corner, and you're after an 80 mile an hour speed through here. We dropped to 79, unfortunately, but you can see you can carry 80 miles an hour through there as we continue on. Oh, somebody jumping behind there. And we're going to head towards this final section. So before you saw me lift off a little bit here, you can flat this first bit, then you lift off as you go straight here, get as far left as possible, and just before the end of that curb on the left, that's when you brake, and you're going to stay in third gear. Now, the reason for this is because you don't want to lose that much speed, and you can carry a lot of speed through the corner. So watch this now. I'm just flat out through the corner. It doesn't understeer because the revs aren't sky high. If the revs were sky high, the nose would pick up and it would understeer more. So third gear is a nice gear to be in for that last corner. And that's actually going to be a fastest lap as well, as you're about to see. And we're going to go into the final lap battle as well with the finish driver here. So let's see what happens then. So we're catching very quickly after that excellent last turn. In towards the braking zone we go. We're on the inside. They give me space here as well, which is very kind of them. And that's a bit too much of a cut from me there. So I'll lift off here to make sure I don't understeer into the finish driver. I don't think I would have anyway, and I think that might have cost me that position there, but we will see what happens later on. You see side by side behind between Hazo and Jim Bob as we just fast forward a bit further along. So we're coming into this last corner, and the finish driver gets it all wrong. So I was expecting them to just go deep, but they absolutely stop on the apex there, and very frustratingly, we've got nowhere to go, and we couldn't really react. So Hazo's going to get an absolute run and a half here, which is unfortunate for us because I think we could have had third position there. It's just one of those where the finish driver was making sure not to run me wide, was probably concentrating to make sure not to go too deep, knowing the penalty. So unfortunately, it's P5 and not P3 where we wanted to be. Very close finish there, and some good racing with Jim Bob, Hazo, and Franti there. That's going to be it for race A. Let's head to race B then, where it gets a little bit awkward once again. Welcome then to Dragontrail Gardens for race B, and as you can see, we are in Group 3 machinery there. Now, this one is very annoying with the rolling start, but we'll get to that in just a second. Let's have a look at the rest of the race details. We're racing 5 laps here at Dragontrail Gardens. Rolling start, as you already know, and we're on racing medium tyres. Group 3 Gardens is usually bring mostly what you like. There's definitely a mixture of cars in there. I mean, I chose the RCZ. It wasn't even on the leaderboard, but it can still race very well here. So pick your favourite cars and just have some fun where you can here with this race. Now, this race gets very awkward, I've got to be honest. We race a driver who's a bit all over the place, but I don't think it's their fault. I don't know. You'll see in a second. Big thanks to Mungino from Driver's Room for the livery once again. Let's head towards the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happened, what to expect, and a lap guide as well. We are then at the start. I see Supra, and then a Beetle, and another Supra. And we've got the Aston Martin by JM Bree there. A Lancer, a mixture of all sorts, as you can see, and we're in the RCZ right at the back. Now, my annoyance here, brake balance +1, well, you can see that there, you know, it's on both, it's on twice. But my annoyance here with the rolling start is this. The start-finish straight at Dragontrail Gardens is massive. Look at the size of it, it's massive. Why are 2 cars starting in the corner? Like, who made the daily race and went, okay, that's a good idea, because it certainly isn't. So, a bit ridiculous. There, if I'm honest, I'm going to put that to some feedback back about that, because I think that was really stupid, because it just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It should be very easy to solve, and then everyone can have a decent race here. But we start so far back at this point, me and Red Skull. Now, Red Skull brakes very early here, and I nearly went into the back of them. Fortunately, I don't, and we can continue racing, but it's so close to running into the back of them. And then we clip the sausage there. I'm going to continue on with this race. But as I say, we started so far away. So you sort of miss out on a couple of the battles here. Anyway, we're going to go down the inside. In towards the hairpin here. Dangerous hairpin. As you can see how they brake quite early there again. So they must be just getting used to this combo. We go down the inside and we're going to take that place. And there is a spinning Supra. So we'll take another one as well. Up into P14. Now we're going to advance a bit further on here. And let's have a look. So up ahead, you see this Supra absolutely dive down the inside of the NSX. Pushes the NSX off completely here. So I do feel for Zemble there. And we're going to take full advantage of that, obviously. And we're going to get in front here. So I did notice that, and I was like, I do not trust this finish driver one little bit. And I think it was, my gut feeling was definitely right, as you will see shortly as we come through here. I will do a lap guide at the end. I know normally Daily Race Beat is at the beginning, but it's at the end, as you see. Finish driver there just ran a little bit wide. But you notice the reactionary braking. I absolutely hate reactionary braking. I think it's horrendous driving personally. But I was on the left there and they instantly dived to the left when they realized I was there. But it's all good. We carry on racing. So they go to the left, defensive driving. And I'm going to go towards the right then as we head down here. And I didn't really want to be here after seeing what just happened. But into the braking zone we go. Let's see what happens here. Looking all good. And they just basically plant the throttle there to get by, but I'd argue that's all fine, to be honest. I'm going to continue on with the racing then. Let's see. Oh, you can see they're cutting these corners quite a bit here. They cut it again, lose a lot of speed here, so I'm going to try and get the run through here. And at this point, I was like, right, I'm going to go for this, irrespective. They tried to run me out wide there, but I wasn't having that. And then they turn in here, and I'm just like, stop hitting me. So they're up to basically 3 strikes at the moment, but not like a 3 strikes, I'm punting you sort of thing. So yeah, I was getting very frustrated. It was 2 or 3 strikes, sorry. The first strike's coming up. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So coming down here then, is quite far back here. Just absolutely launched it. I see it, so I just carry on going straight instead. Fortunately, he survives and I survive. The Hungarian, by the way, superb racing with you, Zemby. So at this point, I'm just like, right, I'm getting past you now, turn 1. That was the 3rd strike to me because it's just silly driving. I just didn't get it personally. So I'm down the inside here. My nose is sort of there. I was like, right, I'm having this. And we get the job done. So they turned in on us once again, but yeah, I was having that. And it actually allowed the NSX through as well. So it's sort of like justified. And now it's like status quo and we can continue racing. I don't think it was like on purpose. I don't know. It's just bad driving, I think. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, let's go on a lap guide because we're about 3 years off now. And that is the problem with this race. If you go into battles, you will go miles behind. So heading towards turn 1, you got the tree on the left-hand side there. Use that as your brake marker and your turn-in marker at the same time. So you're just dabbing the brakes, turning in. And what you're trying to do here is just clip the curb like so. And the minute you clip it, you can normally put your foot down and make the corner nice and easy. Heading towards turn 2 on the right-hand side, you've got the orange painted barrier there on that right-hand side. Use that as your brake marker. So you have just got on the brakes right about now. And then you're going to want to really turn in tight here for the left. And it gives you a good line for the right. So just let off the throttle, center the sausage, and once again, center the sausage, and then accelerate over that. As you see, an RCZ there, getting it all sorts of wrong. But half lifting actually really helps with those sausage curves. So just think about that as you go over them. Now, heading down here towards the hairpin, I've started using that orange painted barrier on the left-hand side more than the trees and the curb. While you don't brake at it, I'm trying to judge the distance there to the edge of my screen, and it's here where I am braking. So I dropped to 1st gear, but I want to be in 2nd gear in reality, so I go back up to 2nd gear, and it allows me to just accelerate without a whole load of oversteer. So we're going to head up here then, hit the curb on the left, get it over to the left here, and that dried piece of grass there, as you get to that point, it's a dab of the brakes, and then you turn in towards the right. As you see, somebody has died up ahead there, the Spaniard. I'm not sure what happened there. So we're trying to clip the curb on the right. Try and keep it towards the right as well. And basically, as that tree goes off your screen on the right-hand side, it's a lovely tree. You're going to be lifting off again and turning in. Don't really brake for this, if I'm honest, because if you do, you're going to start causing the car to have issues. I had a bit of issues there myself. Accelerate through, use a lot of the curb there. It should be fine. Head down the hill then. And as you get to this point here, the black mark there on the pink bit, that's what I'm aiming for here. That's my brake marker. And you want to hit every curb here, every apex. If you hit them, you'll nail this corner completely, as we just missed that first one. We get the second one, so now we can floor it, or we should have floored it a bit earlier then. And then we don't have to hit that last one and continue on through under the tunnel. Now, heading towards the last corner, a really, really obvious brake marker here on the right-hand side. It's going to be that orange painted barrier right there, and about to hit the brakes. Now, a lot of people aim for the 100-meter board. It's too late. You're going in too deep, and you'll slow yourself up too much. You want a nice rhythm through the corner. So you sort of do this here. You notice how the car's just rolling. You get it turned, and then you can accelerate. And the weight stays steady then. It's balanced. And that's what you want. Now, of course, there's not going to be any more racing action here. So we advance towards the final lap then, and you see nothing changed. So make sure you qualify for this one. It's no good starting at the back because you just miss out on all the fun. But that is it for race B. I think you can have some good races here. Just be careful. Let's head to race C then, where it's a little bit unusual for a Group 4 race. Welcome then to the Red Bull Ring for this Group 4 race, as I just talked about. It's a Group 4 race, but that's a little bit different. Now, to see why it's a little bit different, let's have a look at the race details. We're racing 12 laps here at Red Bull Ring. It's a full circuit as well. It's a rolling start, and annoyingly, the rolling start is a bit plebby once again. Racing hard tyres with the star, which means a pit stop is required, but you do not have to change your tyres. Fuel usage times 2 and tyre wear times 3. And that is why it is interesting, because tyre wear times 3 means the FF cars actually have a shot at race C, if I'm honest with you. However, they may want to change tyres, whereas other cars may not. So it really is a bit of a swings and roundabouts sort of race. Some FFs do change tyres, some don't. I definitely don't in the Ferrari. Speaking of the Ferrari, once again, a huge thank you to Lex9999. I'm using that same livery once again because it's just unusual and brilliant. It's a really nice livery, so a huge shout out to you. Yeah, that is it in terms of discussing this. Lex is a part of Driver's Room, of course. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happened, the strategy, and yes, once again, some interesting racing and fantastic racing, which can get a little bit awkward once again. Here we are then at the start. I see RCZ on pole and a Scirocco. Then another RCZ of Mama's there. And then we've got a Ferrari. Now, I picked the Ferrari because it's my go-to car that isn't an FF car. And I know a lot of people don't like the FFs. Brake balance, I was on +1 for this race. That was just to avoid any tyre wear on the front tyres if it was to happen. Once again, an annoying rolling start. But this one, I can accept a little bit more because the start-finish straight is a little bit shorter. The Dragontrail Gardens one was horrendous. I have no idea about that. That's just stupid in my book. Anyway, through the last corner we go. Now remember, when there's tyre wear, there are tyre temps. So get weaving, get some warmth into those tyres. And do be careful at turn 1, especially on lap 1, because you could go wide and you could get yourself a penalty, which is not very good. As we come into here, I play it safe. Through we go. Happy days, we carry on. And we're just out the slipstream until this point here, where we see a RCZ and Ferrari go a little bit wide. So we're going to have a good race here with Raboso. Now, huge shout out to Raboso here, actually. He's very well aware of where I am. And it's some good racing as we go into this left-hander then. They notice I'm there, so they just give me enough space. Shout out to you. And then we're going to be side by side then for this next turn. Going in side by side. This is where a lot of contact can happen, but they make it round the outside. Look at that beautiful driving there from the Spaniard. And he's going to, or she, I don't know, he or she, they're definitely going to keep the position. How about that? Let's not genderize them. So I decided I was going to come in the pits this lap, but I did start to notice on the minimap, so did a lot of other people. Fortunately, not a lot of people ahead of me went in, and yeah, we come in here. Just be careful to come in here, lift off a little bit more than I did. So I nearly went off into barrier, and I do not change my tyres, so that's why I've just delayed the speed there for you. Out we go, and you can see the RCZ behind us did change tyres. Now, I've got plus 22 seconds here. I suspect the RCZ would be in that group up ahead, so you are going to lose around 4 or 5 seconds with a tyre change. So just be careful of that. I'm not sure why you would do it on lap 1 personally. Right, lap guide time. As usual, Red Bull Ring, very simple. 100-meter boards are your best friend here, so you try and get as close to them as possible. I'm going to brake just before here, mainly because I want a smoother run through this corner, and I stay in third gear in the Ferrari. Highly recommend it. You'll see why later on as you see Skull Crusher coming out the pits there. We're just going to jump in front of Skull Crusher. So up a position. Happy days. And you can see we are trying to get as close as we can to that Volkswagen up ahead of Jim Bob. Now, turn 2, once again, it's a 100-meter board. You can't brake at it this time. It's just before it, but you can see how close it is in reference to the edge of the screen. That's what I do. That's how I judge my braking markers. So when I say 100-meter board, get as close as you can. Obviously, the way I brake may be different to you. You might not be able to hit 100% as quick, or you might be able to do it even quicker. You might be able to get closer to that 100-meter board. But that's your marker there, what you're looking for. Now, we're going to head to this next turn. This is where it gets difficult, as we've overtaken Jim Bob there. So down here, it's between the 100 and the 50-meter board. Now, I'm always looking at the 100, trying to get as close to that as I can. But I'm very well aware that in some situations, I'm going to have to brake just after where the cones are here. So just keep that in your mind as we go into this right-hander. Try and get your tyres on the inside. Accelerate out. Happy days. Job done. So forget about the 100 meters now. We're going to start looking at 50-meter boards. And that is our marker here for this left-hander. Just highlight it there. You could use the lines as well. Again, try and get as close as you can to these boards. They're there to help you. And yeah, they're just a big help. So in we go. And I'm trying to get my tyre on the inside of that curve. It turns me a little bit. I can accelerate through that. Don't run too wide there. You'll get a penalty. Brake marker for this left-hander then is as the short track meets the full circuit right there. And you're going to want to drop to third gear. Now, I can't remember if I do fourth gear on this lap, but I dropped to third gear later on. Oh, there we go. I've dropped to third gear. I don't do it quite right. You want to drop a little bit earlier than I did there. Accelerate through the corner. I'm going to head towards the last 2 corners then. So, looking for Bill and Brian. The Marshalls are on the left-hand side, and we're going to highlight them right there. Just watching the race in action there. So yeah, get as close as you can to them, and you want to then try and get your tyres on the inside of the curbing on the right-hand side. Stay in fourth gear, or nearly do it. Be careful about running too wide here, and then the end of the Austrian flag on the left-hand side. Try and get as close to that as you can in terms of brake markers, and that hitting the edge of your screen. And you're going to drop to third gear here in the Ferrari. Other cars' gears will vary, and we just missed the apex slightly there, but That is how you do the corner. Now, I'm going to give a huge shout out here to La Petite Pechua 81. Sorry if I pronounced that completely wrong. I'm not French. But this is some awesome racing. So coming into here, I'm staying in third gear to get the run here. So you notice how I'm in third gear. The car remains stable. Now I'm looking on the inside. Now I wasn't sure who would be faster here, the McLaren or the Ferrari. But it appears to be the Ferrari in terms of a straight line, which is interesting to me. Learning something new. The Volkswagen's coming at us as well, of Jim Bob. So heading towards this braking zone then. Jim Bob backs out of that, which I think is actually a smart move. And looking down the inside, and the McLaren off that corner absolutely destroys the Ferrari. My word, look at that. And the reason why Jim Bob made the right decision, I reckon, there is because he wasn't alongside enough to make it 3 wide, and it would have got very awkward. That's my opinion anyway. So it's good driving in my opinion. So through the right-hander, and once again, you see the run we get there. We are much stronger than the McLaren through that right-hander. So this is take 2 of the same corner. This time we've got a Ferrari up ahead, which I'm hoping to get a bit of slipstream, or was hoping anyway. And then we've got McGann there about to take a penalty in towards the braking zone again. Once again, we're side by side with the French driver. So through we go, leave just enough space on the exit. Probably too much space on the exit, if I'm honest, because the McLaren gets an awesome run off there, and we were ahead at that point. So we're going to get the place off the McGann, and yeah, we're going to fall in behind the McLaren then, and let's see what happens then as we head towards this right-hander. And oh, we're going to get close. We're going to get very close. Okay, here we go. This is what I like. This is what I enjoy about this race. It was a bit frustrating. The McLaren was so strong off that corner. I really wanted to get past, but it's some good racing as I look down the inside there. The Petite, recognised it at the last second there. Did leave me room, but you know, it'd been very risky for me to go for that. And we were having such a fantastic race. I didn't. So once again, we're looking to try and get our tyres on the inside of the curb. Notice how well we did it that time, because we shifted down a bit earlier and got our tyres on the inside. So we're looking down the inside on the McLaren. They've got the Ferrari slipstream up ahead, though, so that we're just too far back here to make anything work. Petit knows that. Petit Pechua. And he's going to keep that position for now. So we're looking to try and get a good run through turn 1. Try and get ahead before turn 2 or turn 3, or however you want to count the corners, because they count the slight left as a corner. We want to just be ahead at that point. Notice I would never go for a move at turn 1, really, unless it was the last lap or penultimate lap, somewhere around there, because it's just going to lose so much time. Once again, we get a magnificent run through turn 1. We were so strong here versus everybody. Just by doing the third gear trick, staying in that higher gear, being able to plant our foot, we really did get an advantage here. So we're going to continue on up here. We've got a bit of a lead on the McLaren. Into the braking zone we go. Now, I think I broke a little bit too early there, but once again, we're side by side. Car got a little bit oversteery then. We did tap the McLaren, but the McLaren, look at that exit it gets there. That is an unbelievable exit on that McLaren. So while I was getting frustrated here, it is a good race. You know, it is a good race. It can get frustrating when it's in this sort of scenario, when you know you've got the speed and you just can't get through. Whoa, the McGann came from nowhere then. We just left enough space on the inside for them to go, and we continue on racing. Let's advance further on then. And you can see the McLaren getting very close to that Ferrari now. What's going to happen here? Anything going to happen? Not quite then. Oh, no, the Ferrari's gone a little bit deep. Now, the Ferrari, you can notice here, is having all sorts of problems with their internet. They were up and down on the bars like an absolute yo-yo. So it was getting very awkward. The McLaren did get down the inside here then, heading towards this right-hander downhill as well. So it gets very sketchy here, in towards the braking zone, and oh, they just make it slight tap there. So I'm looking to try and follow through with the McLaren. Then at least we're up one position in this race, and the Ferrari on the inside. Then unfortunately for us, you can see that lag. It's just impactful. It's gone down to a red bar now. So they're definitely on Wi-Fi here. So I highly recommend you get a power adapter or something there to improve your racing, because I know it's not your fault with the internet, but that causes an issue there with a crash. Obviously, it's not the Spaniards' fault in terms of how ping works and netcode works in this game, but it's so annoying for other drivers. So, yeah, power line adapters work well. Don't know if you can get them in the EU. So the Ferrari gets a good run on the McLaren here, up towards this right-hander once again. So I'm thinking, where can I go here? But the McLaren goes a little bit too deep. We leave just enough room on the exit, so we finally get past this McLaren. Again, a huge shout-out to you, Pechua, because it was some awesome racing there for a number of laps. It was really good fun. And now we're looking to try and get past this Ferrari then. And then hopefully we can push on to maybe get towards whoever's in P10 at the moment, which is Momoz. Momoz in P10. It'd be nice to have a good race with Momoz. Let's see what happens. So we're going to fast forward here a little bit. And we're looking down the inside. Once again, very hard to make a move here. We're a bit more alongside than the other driver, but again, very risky to... We're not far enough along, in my opinion. Now, I thought the McLaren may go for it there, but doesn't. So we remain in P12 for now. And now a lot of people will pit at the end of this race. And you see a couple of people have pit now. So we will overtake some of them. And we're going to continue towards turn 1. In fact, we have. We've overtaken 2 people there, haven't we? So in towards turn 1. The Ferrari takes more of the left. A few people do that. I don't recommend it because it's very slippy. Only if you're going for a world record time would you use that piece of circuit. Now, the indicator goes on here for the Spaniards. So it's like, oh, okay, where do you want me to go? Normally that indicates where you're going, but they started moving left. So I got confused. But even so, they said that they're going towards the right. So I was like, oh, are they letting me go here? No, they're not letting me go here. So we're looking to try and get round here. And the Ferrari just gives me enough room there. And even so, we're still behind the Ferrari. So where do we go now then? Where can we go? So I am worried about the internet a little bit, but it seems to have settled for them, which is good. So heading down towards this right-hander. You saw some action up ahead, by the way. I don't know if you spotted it. There was a Ferrari and an orange car absolutely going hammer and tongue at each other. But the Ferrari keeps the position. And the McLaren looking to get past here. And annoyingly, the McLaren's going to get by. Look at this. Oh, I was so gutted. It took a lot of work to get past the McLaren. We're looking down the inside, but you're going to have that outside run, aren't they? As FIFA, my word, I don't know what happens there. But look at this for a reverse Moses maneuver. We both go around the outside. And this is what I love. This is why you get a huge shout out. Driver of the day for me is this French driver, Lapie Pachua, because he went round, recognized I was still on the inside there, and gave me space. It's like superb driving. Like, I'm going to create an award at some point for these weekly race guides where we have driver of the day, because you are it today, my friend. You are it today. So congrats for getting back up into P10 here. Frustratingly, I'm back behind you. And we've only got one more lap to go. And I noticed a penalty there for the Ferrari driver. Notice we are gaining a few positions here then. We can see the cursed one up ahead. And we've got one lap to go. So what can we do? So we brake a little bit early here just to make sure we don't hit anybody. Through the corner we go. And I was just a little bit too close, so I give him a bit of a bumper draft there. I didn't want to do that. It's a bit frustrating. There's Tug of War, who started behind me in the race. So they had a really good strategy of staying out that longer length of time there to really gain some positions. Because I've been in fights throughout this race as we head towards this braking zone. Notice the Ferrari internet again. And I think that pushes the McLaren off, if I'm honest, because he bounces back inside it and pushes him forward. We get the position, but I feel a bit sorry there for Petit Pachua there. That was a real unlucky. That's the internet for you. I'd say I hope the Spaniard could get that sorted, because he's not driving dirty. It's just the internet doing that. So anyway, we've got a race versus a South African here. Tug of War. What can we do? Half a lap to go. Can we get the cursed position? Let's find out. So a bit too far back here to make a move. And that Citroen obviously will be very strong. Now, in terms of strategy, by the way, while we're just coming through here, getting closer and closer and closer, stop on any lap you like. You're trying to avoid the traffic, if I'm honest. FF cars, if you're going to change tyres, though, it's going to be more in the middle of the race. However, I would probably highly advise you don't change tyres and just try and cope with it as best as you can. That is the strategy here. Now, lowers down as we're looking down the inside, but again, not close enough here. Through the right hand, we've got one more corner. Can Tug of War just make a mistake here into this last corner? Not quite. Actually slows down beautifully on the apex. It means I have to brake a little bit here. Don't get the advantage, and Tug of War is going to keep the cursed one for now. But yeah, in terms of lower downs, if your DR's around D and C, it may be worth you changing tyres. Anybody else, I would highly recommend you don't. As you see, a Ferrari did win this race, so it does show you that the non-FF cars can do very well as the FF cars as well. But that's going to be it for this week, folks. I do hope you enjoyed it. There's 2 videos there if you want to check them out. My logo's there if you want to subscribe and stay in touch with the content. Once again, a huge thank you for all the support recently, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.